This will be a scaffold lesson plan for teaching iambic pentameter. So we hear this phrase a lot in poetry and in literature in general. We hear it talked about when we read about Shakespeare, we read about sonnets, a lot of types of poetry. But what is it, and how do we explain to our students in classes what iambic pentameter? And the first thing we have to do is kind of show that words have a certain rhythm to them. There's an emphasis, there are stressed syllables and unstressed syllables, and we might have heard this before, but let's see this in practice. So in a multisyllabic word, we have, two syllables. One of them is going to get stressed and one of them won't be. So when we see the word pumpkin, a lot of our emphasis goes on the first part. So pumpkin. So we can kind of show that the first syllable gets the emphasis. And let's try it for these words too. Unseen. Do we say unseen or unseen? I think it's better to say unseen, with the first syllable being unstressed and the second syllable getting the emphasis. And try cardboard and beneath now on your own, and let's see if it lines up to what we get in a second. You can pause the video. Unpause. All right, cardboard. We have cardboard. It's not cardboard, it's cardboard, right? So we have stressed and unstressed in here. And beneath, I'd say beneath instead of beneath, right? So beneath. And this is how we, again, just illustrate the stresses in a syllable. Now, having seen that, we can apply that to three-syllable words as well. We can have remember, or majestic, or even four-syllable words like information. Okay, so some words can have multiple stresses and multiple unstresses. There's no rule against that. Okay, so now that we've got the emphasis down, where stresses go in words and how to identify that, let's talk about the term iamb. An iamb is a set of two syllables, wherein the first syllable is unstressed and the second syllable is stressed, like in the words unseen or beneath, but not in the word tiger, right? Tiger would be the other way around, stressed, unstressed, so it's not an iamb. And this could span multiple words, or it could be in between words, it doesn't matter. So let's take a look at a very famous line, amazing grace, how sweet the sound, and try to chart out the stresses and the rhythm of that word. So we'd say amazing is a three-syllable word. We can kind of look for it. Amaze, right? We say amaze. The emphasis gets put on maze part. So amazing grace, how sweet the sound. So when we have those, when we chart it out like that, we can see that there's a definite pattern. And all of these are actually iambs here. So amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And we don't say it like that, but even when we say it normally, amazing grace, how sweet the sound, we can hear a specific rhythm to it. So in this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate iambs. Okay, so in amazing grace, how sweet the sound, we have 4 iambs. And each of these segments in poetry, we call that a foot. So we'd say there's 4 feet in this line. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And each foot is an iamb. So there's 1 iamb, 2, 3, and 4, as we said earlier. So we would call this iambic tetrameter, because it's 4, so there's tetrameter. So what is pentameter, as you guys have known? Penta meaning 5. So an iambic pentameter, a line of iambic pentameter, is going to have 5 separate feet. 5 separate feet in which each foot will be its own iamb. So we look at this famous line from Romeo and Juliet, where Romeo says, "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks." And we can map it out. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks. And if we look at it again, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate iambs, hence iambic pentameter. It's a very fluid rhythm. In fact, we speak in iambic pentameter very often when we say, I'd like to have another cup of tea, or something like that. Or famous last words from some author who I've forgotten was, my chest of books divide among my friends. It's a very rhythmic thing, rhythmic pattern, so it helps us in poetry and in acting. Shakespeare used it a lot. So yeah, so now you know what iambic pentameter means. Hope it helps.